Let's talk about the Sesame raising $250 million because I don't know what Sesame is.
Yes, I thought you might not. So this is a company that came out of stealth back in February. It's done a couple things. One, it's built voice-first AI, and its first two models that it put out earlier this year, Jason, were popular enough that they racked up 5 million minutes. But what's interesting about this company and why I wanted to bring it up on the show today is they're also working on hardware. They're building glasses for you. And I have an image here from their let's call it their lab or their office. It doesn't really show us much, but the idea here is, back to the point about Google Glass being early, is that Sesame wants to give you some hardware that lets you chat with your personal AI agent or assistant or friend or whatever you want to call it on the go. And they're taking the hardware approach to it. And I think that explains the amount of capital here. Just as background, how did they manage that? Well, they're founded by Brendan Uribe, the co-founder of Oculus, and also the former CTO of Ubiquity 6, which was an AR startup. So they have a lot of that AR DNA in their veins.
Interesting. So they worked at Ubiquity, so they understand AR, $250 million. And exactly how is the device going to work? Is there a demo of this device out? Have they made a video of it?
Very, very little. The Verge got to try it and talked about it a little bit, and that's where that image came. And I do have another one from the same post, but it's pretty nascent. In fact, this company is only putting out the beta of their iOS app now. They're actually taking applications for the beta of their iOS app. So it's very much under wraps, if you will. But the idea is, and Sequoia wrote about this in a piece explaining their investment, Jason, is that it's not just another AI voice chat like your ChatGPT instance, for example. It's supposed to be more of like a collaborator with you, and with a focus on how it handles speech to make it seem natural between you and maybe your AI. One thing I'm sure you've noticed is that if you chat with GPT-5 and you make any sound while it's talking, it just stops to give you space, which makes it almost impossible to converse.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that what they're doing here is making more natural communication with AIs, more personalized AI, and then making it functional on the go without having to opt in to the Zuckerberg, I would say, spyware empire.
What are your thoughts on wearables, Elad, and this idea of like it's persistently monitoring what you're doing in the world and what could only be described as the most creepiest Truman Show concept ever, but the benefit.
So you're saying you like it?
I love the Truman Show in a dystopian way. Like,
that's cool, yeah.
I do have some concerns about these things or being always on and recording everybody all the time. I don't know if I'm going to win that battle, though. You have concerns about this?
No.
Elad?
I'm in general a very paranoid person, so I always have concerns. But I think that it just comes back to utility, right? I think one thing that's been proven to us is people fluctuate between willing to sacrifice privacy in order to get access to more stuff. That was Google Gmail, right? There was all these concerns around Google reading your email, reading it, not really, but a machine reading it to generate ads. And that was an issue, but then, hundreds of millions of people adopted Gmail. And then Facebook, similarly, people had concerns about their own personal data and privacy. And I think for a while, Facebook actually was doing fine on it. And probably what happened is, because I sold my first company to Twitter, and that was around 2009. And so this was right as Facebook started paying attention to Twitter. And I always wonder if there's some alternate timeline or history or something else where instead of trying to go after Twitter and media and public content, Facebook leaned into its strengths, because at the time it was a very trusted privacy brand, right? It was your identity and it was your friends and your friend group, and it was viewed very differently. And what if they'd gone into banking and payments? What if they'd gone into healthcare? What if they'd gone into all the things that were privacy native, almost what Apple ended up doing? That's a very interesting alternative timeline for Facebook. And maybe they would be the trusted identity. But it's an interesting concept, right? Of like, they decided to go after Twitter. What if they decided to go after banking? At that moment in time when they were very trusted as like they had all your stuff, but that was fine.
I've been working with and investing in founders for so long, I've got supernatural startup powers. For example, I know your team is spending too much time on debugging. Your engineers are chasing down bugs at 1 a.m., 8 a.m., and every time in between, instead of building amazing new features or pushing fresh code. Just admit it. You'll feel better. The reality is, from time to time, your code is going to break. We all know that, but it doesn't have to be the end of the world. Now there's Sentry. They're the one-stop application monitoring platform that's not just going to tell you, hey, something's broke, but what specifically happened, where, and most importantly, why. Plus, they've added Sentry logs. So now when something goes wrong, you get a complete report. No more random jobs that just don't run. No more tab hopping, just actionable information with tons of context. And that means faster fixes. And we want to give you 3 months free of Sentry's team plan. That's right, FREE, just for being a loyal Twist listener. That covers 150,000 errors. Just go to sentry.io and use the code TWIST. That's SENTRY.io. And make sure you use that code TWIST so they know we sent you.